The water had long gone cold. George stared at the cup of tea in front of him, unable to remember when he had poured it. It wasn't the first time something like this had happened, but lately, it was happening more often. Misplaced glasses, forgotten appointments, words stuck on the tip of his tongue. He was 67 years old and used to laugh when people joked about senior moments, but now it wasn't funny. It was frightening. It wasn't just memory loss. It was the quiet fear that he was slowly vanishing, one missing thought at a time. Then, something unexpected happened. Chapter 1. The day I forgot her name. The memory still haunts me, not because of what I forgot, but because of who I forgot. It was a warm April afternoon, and I was sitting in the park with my granddaughter Lucy. She was showing me the butterflies she had drawn in her school notebook. Her eyes were bright, her voice animated. Then she looked up at me and asked, "Grandpa, do you remember my name?" I froze. I remembered her laugh, her drawings, the way she always grabbed my hand when she was excited. But her name, it didn't come. It did, eventually, but the delay, that long pause, felt like a lifetime. That night, I cried. Not because I had forgotten, but because I had always promised her I wouldn't. Chapter 2. Meeting Dr. Anika and the fruit that could save my brain. The turning point came a week later, when my daughter insisted I see a neurologist. Her name was Dr. Anika Patel, a kind woman in her 40s with patient eyes and a quiet strength. After a long conversation and some cognitive tests, she placed her pen down and said, "George, what you're experiencing is common. It's age cognitive decline, not dementia, not Alzheimer's, but it can get worse unless we do something about it." She smiled gently. "Let's start with something simple, something delicious." She reached into her drawer and handed me a list. At the top, 3 words stood out in bold letters: blueberries, strawberries, pomegranates. Chapter 3. Blueberries. Tiny warriors in a battle for my mind. Dr. Anika called them nature's brain shields. Blueberries, she explained, are packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons from oxidative stress. Think of them as tiny soldiers, she said, defending your brain from inflammation and slowing down age memory loss. I began eating a handful every morning with my oatmeal, sometimes fresh, sometimes frozen, sometimes blended into a smoothie with almond milk and spinach. After a few weeks, I noticed something. I was remembering more. Not everything, not instantly, but my thoughts were less foggy, my conversations flowed better. I even remembered where I had left my house keys for 3 days in a row. It felt like hope, and it tasted sweet. Chapter 4. Strawberry Fields and Forgotten Faces. It was Lucy again. She was sitting beside me on the porch, holding an old photo album. One of the pictures showed me in my army uniform, standing next to my late wife, Anna. We were just 25 then, glowing with youth and wild hope. "Grandpa," Lucy said gently, "who's this with you?" I stared at the photo. I knew the story, I knew the place, but for one terrifying second, I couldn't remember her name. Anna, the woman who loved me through storms, who made pancakes every Sunday, who held my hand as I cried when our son left for college. The woman I once promised never to forget. I felt ashamed, but Lucy only smiled and squeezed my hand. "It's okay," she whispered. "You always remember in the end." The strawberry memory jar. The next day, I told Dr. Anika what had happened. Her face softened, and then she handed me a small jar filled with red. "Strawberries," she said, "your next allies." She explained that strawberries contain ficitin, a compound that not only reduces inflammation in the brain, but also boosts long-term memory by supporting neuron survival and plasticity. Some researchers call ficitin a natural memory enhancer, she added. It helps older brains form and retain new memories. And unlike medicine, it's delicious. I started adding sliced strawberries to my morning toast with peanut butter. I made strawberry chia pudding. Lucy and I even baked muffins together, laughing when we accidentally used salt instead of sugar. But there was something else. Each time I ate them, I imagined their sweetness weaving through the cracks of my mind, repairing, restoring, science in the sweetness. Dr. Anika showed me studies from Tufts University and the Journal of Neuroscience where older adults who consumed strawberries regularly performed significantly better in verbal recall tasks and working memory tests. These fruits, she said, aren't just food, they're therapy. I found myself drawn to their color, the vibrant red that reminded me of roses Anna once planted. I began writing down a new memory every time I ate them. March 5, remember the lyrics to Lucy's favorite song. March 10th, didn't forget to lock the door. March 18, I called Anna by name, no pause, no fear. The strawberry picnic. Lucy had an idea. Let's go on a strawberry picnic, she said. We'll eat red things and talk about red things. She brought strawberry jam sandwiches, I brought strawberries dipped in dark chocolate. We laid a red checkered cloth beneath the oak tree in the park. Tell me about when you and Grandma fell in love, Lucy said. And this time I told her everything. The dance, the storm, the awkward first kiss, every detail. No gaps, no shadows, just memories ripe and sweet like the fruit in our hands. More than just a fruit. It wasn't just the strawberries. It was the habit, the mindfulness, the morning pause to feed my brain and heart. It was having Lucy beside me, watching me try, fall, and try again. Do you think I'll ever forget you? I asked her one day. She shook her head. Not while strawberries exist. Chapter 5, Pomegranate Seeds and Second Chances. The day I remembered her birthday again was the day I started believing in second chances. It had been years since I'd gotten it right. Anna's birthday, May 17th. Every year since her passing, the date had slipped past in silence or shame. But that morning, as I sat with my tea and journal, it came back to me, bright, unshakable, undeniable. And I wept. Not from grief this time, but from gratitude. A fruit of renewal. That morning, I had my usual bowl of yogurt, but this time it was topped with something new. A handful of deep red pomegranate seeds. Dr. Anika had given them to me at my last check-in. Pomegranates, she said, contain polyphenols, especially punicolagon, that reduce oxidative stress in the brain and help repair damaged neurons. Some call them brain rejuvenators. She showed me research from clinical trials that suggested pomegranate juice improves verbal memory in older adults. In one UCLA study, participants who drank a cup a day showed significantly increased brain activity on MRIs and improved recall over 4 weeks. The science was promising, the flavor even better. Cracking open the past. Pomegranates are strange fruits. You have to work for them. Crack open the hard shell, dig through the white pith, and gently scoop out the seeds. It's slow, messy, and oddly meditative. Like memory. As I began eating them daily, sprinkled over oatmeal, blended into smoothies, or just fresh with a spoon, something else began to open. My past. Old scenes returned, not just facts, but feelings. The smell of Anna's scarf. The exact shade of blue in our kitchen curtains. The laugh of my old friend Samuel, who used to call me Georgie boy and slap my back so hard I'd lose breath. These weren't just memories. They were moments I thought I had lost forever. The phone call I almost didn't make. One morning, inspired by something I couldn't explain, I picked up the phone and called Samuel. We hadn't spoken in years, not since I'd missed his birthday twice in a row and forgot his wife's name during a barbecue. I was afraid he'd be cold, or worse, disappointed. But when he answered, his voice cracked with warmth. "Georgie boy, is that really you?" We talked for 45 minutes about our old fishing trips, about our knees and backs and fading eyesight, about how loneliness creeps in, quiet as dusk, and how connection, real connection, feels like sunrise. When we hung up, he said, "You remembered my number. That means something." I smiled. It means I'm eating a lot of fruit. Rebuilding from the inside. Dr. Anika often said, "Your brain is like a house. It's never too late to patch the roof or repaint the walls." Pomegranates became my brush. Every morning, I carved out time, not just to eat, but to reflect. While spooning out seeds, I wrote down 3 things I could still remember from the day before. A conversation, a sound, a face, a word. It became a ritual of reclamation. Lucy's project. One afternoon, Lucy came home from school holding a shoebox. "What's this?" I asked. "It's your memory box," she said. "We're going to fill it." Inside were cards, some blank, some already filled in with names, places, drawings. "I'll help you remember things," she said. "And you'll help me learn things." I was speechless. That week we filled the box with little treasures. A feather from our morning walk. A recipe card, Anna once wrote. A napkin from the cafe where I first took Lucy for hot cocoa. And one pomegranate seed, dried and wrapped in paper. "It's the memory fruit," she said. "The science of small things." It's easy to doubt that something so small, a piece of fruit, could have such power. But that's the beauty of it. It's not just the nutrients, it's the daily act of care, of pausing, of choosing to nourish the brain and soul at the same time. It's the difference between forgetting and remembering, between surviving and truly living. A new kind of remembering. I don't remember everything now. I still forget where I put my wallet. I still search for the right words sometimes. But I remember more than I did before. And more importantly, I remember who I am. A grandfather, a friend, a man who still learns, still loves, still laughs. A man who believed it was too late and proved himself wrong. Chapter 6. The fruit-filled routine, turning memory into a habit. Memory, I've learned, is not just about biology. It's about rhythm. It's about what you do every single day, whether it supports your brain or slowly lets it fade. By now, blueberries were part of my mornings. Strawberries joined my afternoons. Pomegranates showed up after dinner, like old friends who always knew when to visit. But it wasn't just what I ate, it was how I lived. A morning that remembers me. My mornings became sacred. I'd wake up, stretch gently in bed, Lucy called it old man yoga, drink a warm glass of lemon water, and sit by the window. Then came breakfast, always rich in color. Oats with blueberries and ground flaxseed, Greek yogurt with strawberries, a few walnuts for good measure, and always a short moment of silence. Sometimes I'd write a sentence, "Today I want to remember the laughter, not the fear." Midday for the mind. I stopped eating heavy lunches that left me foggy. Instead, I added brightness to my plate, leafy greens, grilled salmon, and, when I could, a small cup of pomegranate juice. I noticed a difference. Less sluggishness, more focus during afternoon chess games with my neighbor. And when I forgot a move, I didn't panic. I simply paused and remembered. Evening routines for recall. Evenings used to be the hardest. That's when the mind wanders and memory falters. But I began ending each day with a ritual. A short walk with strawberries for dessert. A warm bath, sometimes with rosemary oil. And a quiet review. What did I learn today? What did I feel? What did I remember? Lucy gave me a calendar. We marked it with tiny fruit stickers every time I remembered something new or old. Your memory isn't disappearing, she told me. It's just learning how to breathe again. The power of repetition. Dr. Anika said it best. The brain loves repetition, but only when it's joyful. So I built a memory around joy. Remembering Anna through recipes. Playing music from my childhood. Practicing names, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. And always, always, starting and ending the day with color on my plate and gratitude in my chest. A habit that heals. You see, memory doesn't come back with one miracle fruit. It returns like a garden, watered daily, pruned with patience, and fed with care. Blueberries protect, strawberries awaken, pomegranates restore. But it is routine that makes them powerful. Final thought for this chapter. I no longer fear the forgetting, because each time I slice a fruit, recall a face, or smile at Lucy's drawings, I remember that I'm still here. Not perfect, not sharp like before, but present. And that presence, cultivated through habit, is the greatest memory of all. Chapter 7. Remembering What Matters, a New Kind of Legacy. One afternoon, Lucy asked me a question that stopped me cold. "Grandpa," she said, What do you want me to remember most about you? I looked at her, her eyes full of trust, her hands sticky from pomegranate juice, and I knew this journey wasn't just about memory loss or blueberries or neurons. It was about legacy, more than a mind. In the months since I began changing my diet and my habits, I had recovered more than names and dates. I had recovered presence. I was no longer a man trying to hold on to the past. I was becoming someone who chose what to pass on. I wrote Lucy letters, short daily notes. One memory, one lesson, one moment of laughter. She called them our fruit letters because most of them were written while we shared bowls of strawberries or peeled open pomegranates together. What I now know. Aging is not about decline. It's about transformation. And even when memory fades, meaning remains. I don't remember everything, but I remember what matters. That love lives longer than names. That food can heal more than the body. That every forgotten word can be forgiven, and every remembered face is a blessing. The final gift. If someone asks me now what saved me, I won't say a miracle. I'll say blueberries for their quiet protection, strawberries for their joyful sweetness, pomegranates for the second chances they brought. But more than that, I'll say Lucy. I'll say routine. I'll say I stopped giving up on myself. And that, maybe, is the best legacy I can leave. Conclusion. Thank you and see you soon. Thank you for joining me on this deeply personal journey. I hope it reminded you that memory is more than just recall. It's connection, choice, and love. Even if you've forgotten a few things lately, remember this. You are still here. You still matter. And the best days of clarity, color, and calm may still be ahead. See you again in the next video. Until then, be kind to your mind and feed it well.